I think in the pandemic, prior to the pandemic, our constitution was meant for that time. After the pandemic happened and real realizations in the family, immortality, first generation could have died, everyone died. So we had to revisit our constitution after the pandemic and create new learnings and make additional addendums. Because, when you think about force majeure and any other constitutional or contractual signing, the pandemic really happened, and the mortality of everyone dying and not the children not being prepared were more real. So that was, we realized we needed to speed the process, and it was important for us to get guided by a third party, because me, my sisters, we all had different visions on what the future would look like. So there's no certainty. I still don't know, though, if the Constitution is enough. It gave great guidelines as a roadmap, but like Neil said, we actually need to do the work. However, how long that work is going to be, we don't know, but we're all working towards bettering problem solving as a family business, as a corporation, and as management, right? Because me and my sisters, we sit on all three, as board, as management, and what is the third? Family? Owners. And, for so long, it crossed so many lines. Oh, I'm an owner, but yeah, you're not in that department, and, don't cross my line. So it's definitely a tricky, sensitive process. We are growing as a business. So my father is never here. So we've relied on channels such as WhatsApp or Zoom channels, because we all have our own lives. So that even made it harder for communication at one point. If there's anything that is efficient, it's proper communication and fighting it outright, rather than all those scenarios of not talking at all, what you just said, to talking it out. And then you mentioned something else. You said the three areas where a generation doesn't talk at all, and then the expectation. Indirect, yes. So that has happened to all of us, where there was no communication, direct form of communication, pushback, and, just talking it out and not doing it. So it needs to be defined. And like you said, if everyone's a strategist and no one implements. So we are working towards a better governance for sure. And we're only year 4, Neil, no? Year 5. Year 4. And already in year 4, we've changed our constitution. So we've defined policies, children's education. We've defined future growth on, if somebody wanted to step down, who takes over? Yeah. So it gives us a very long roadmap, and it's not about you, it's about the holistic direction of the family. In the same way, if I can share, I've actually opened business too in hospitality during my family, and we work doubly hard to keep the footing of growth for each business. And we've grown as a second business, me and my husband, and I'm having a hard time now balancing. Yeah. But it needs to be revisited, because, you can try when you're young and the risks are there, and you fail, you do well, you fail, you do well. But now managing it moving forward, how do you manage growth and sustainability? So that's where we are. Sorry, I think I
It's okay.
answered too much.
Daryl?
I hope
Yes.
So I would like to talk in a way that explains our family before the Constitution and after the Constitution. So there's this realization of what really it benefits us for. First of all, before the Constitution, there was no clarity. There was no, it's command and control, founder style. They decide everything for everyone, and that's how it goes. It's been done that way for 20 years. They know how to do it, we follow. But now that there's a constitution, there's been more transparency in the process. And when the pandemic hit, it really gave us a sense of fallback to culture. In our value system, in our family, perseverance was number 3 in our value system. So to persevere in hard times was indoctrinated in the culture. So when we had issues with our retail, for example, we stuck out for the last 2 years to try to persevere and change things and pivot. So that's a family characteristic that we want to approach and continue in our businesses. So we fall back to the constitution as a culture and as a form of transparency, clarity, as well as the family constitution also helps the dichotomy of management and ownership. Because when the second generation is coming in, there's a lot of tricky situations where you don't want to touch or involve yourself in the business because of certain character traits or issues. But there's also places where you do want to enter. So the Constitution helps you clarify what are the things you can enter and what the things you cannot enter. As Ms. Kate said, like we can start our businesses, but for example, in our case, we cannot compete with our parents' businesses. So it's all clear. So we have a system to go forward and really be the best that we can be and still help the family business. And thirdly, I think the family constitution gave us a platform for leadership development. For leadership development, meaning, as Hans said, we have to see that things have changed. It was very different years ago. What made them really successful before is a great thing, but going forward, it makes different kinds of skills now, different learnings, different kind of attitudes as well. So it's the family constitution allows us to communicate better the difference between generations. And when the generations can communicate in an effective way, it's very potent. When it's potent, then the family business can very easily like conflict resolution and we can move forward together.